Mayor Buchanan, thank you for coming to this Nowruz series of interviews with BC Sarv, Hamiari Media, and North Shore News.
Well, thank you very much. It's my pleasure to be here. I appreciate the invitation.
It's all a pleasure.
It's a good day to have it. It's beautiful out, beginning of spring.
Oh yeah, we're so looking forward to it.
Yes.
So we want to ask you to tell us what happened in the past year, which is our calendar year, from March 2021 all the way to this March 2022. Just tell us what happened in terms of our municipality and the city and the issues that matter to the community, be it affordability, transit, or other issues of interest for the city of North Vancouver.
Okay, well, that's a big question to answer in a few in a few sentences. I might have to direct you back over to my State of the City, which I did in November. So I'll have to make sure next year you get invited to that. But thank you for the question. I mean, it has been, obviously, we were into our second year of a pandemic, which has been devastatingly impactful to I think most of us can say we've been impacted by the pandemic in some ways, but for many people in our community, it has been even more devastating and impactful. So, but despite that, I think the city of North Vancouver has actually done fairly well in being able to advance many of the things that my council and myself have as our priority. So if you don't know, council adopted, just a little context, council adopted in our first 9 months of being elected the first ever strategic plan in the city of North Vancouver for a council. So our vision is to be the healthiest small city in the world. And so we have 5 sort of objectives where we really focus on city for people, because you can't, as much as, we are here to deliver infrastructure and deliver programs and services, really cities are about people and the very people who make up our community. So we're focused on people. We're focused on being a connected city, which is really around the way in which we are moving to, through, and from the city. So it's really all about the transportation and active transportation. We are looking at being a living city. So in terms of our natural environment, a prosperous city, and then a very vibrant city. So really focuses on our public and open spaces, our arts and cultural communities. And so over this past year, so despite COVID, we've actually been able to achieve quite a lot. And so this past year, what we saw was we implemented a number of policies that continued. So we allowed we've advanced a number of initiatives around housing. So delivering on a number of new housing forms, a lot more around rental housing, really focused on policy development around strengthening when people are being displaced out of their homes because of redevelopment, and policies around strengthening rent eviction. So people can't be, being displaced out of housing because people are saying they're renovating when in fact they're not. So we've done a lot around that. We've looked at different forms of housing, so not just market, but all the way down to non-market. So one of the pieces of infrastructure that we've advanced is the redevelopment of the North Shore Neighborhood House, and so that's a very large social service agency. But this is a project that has actually 3 other nonprofit agencies. So we'll have a brand new North Shore Neighborhood House. We will be delivering the most amount of non-market housing in a generation in the city when this project goes forward. We have seniors care, respite care, and then more non-market housing. So that's one. We finally have, we are breaking ground on the Harry Jerome Community Recreation Center at the end of the month. So that is moving forward. In terms of transportation, we've advanced a number of policy initiatives, as well as launched the first ever electric bike share in British Columbia. We've added to our walkability infrastructure, and I am part of North Shore Connects, which the 3 North Shore municipalities, including our 2 First Nation governments, are involved in. And our priority right now is delivering rapid transit across the Burrard Inlet. In terms of prosperity in terms of economic development. We have our economic development strategy will be coming out shortly, really looking at how we can foster and support our small and medium-sized businesses, but how we're also going to be looking at having business. We want to attract business and investment into the city. And then finally, we have a well-being strategy that's coming out, which will focus on, obviously, again, people and how we're supporting people in the community. And we opened the new museum, which is another piece of public infrastructure that we did. The shipyards has won numerous awards over this past year. And our environmental and climate strategy, it will also be coming out in the next couple of months. So I'll kind of end there because I could go on, but I'm sure you have more questions.
Thank you very much.
Sorry, I was muted.
No problem.
Mayor Buchanan, thank you very much for explaining all great works you have done during the past year, despite COVID, as you mentioned. But speaking of rapid transit, we understand that early last month, all members of the 3 North Shore councils voted unanimously on identical motions, formally calling the TransLink Mayor's Council to prioritize the Broad Inlet Rapid Transit Project in the next 10-year round of transit expansion. So have you heard back from the TransLink? And also, is there any, do you think that there is any chance that provincial or federal government to help in order to push forward on this project? And also, we would like to know a bit about what happened and how all 3, like the 2 districts and the city came on the same page in this project, because I believe it wasn't initially.
Well, thank you for that. There's about 4 questions there. So,
yeah, sorry.
so I'll try to touch on all of them. So certainly, I think at a high level, I think, you know, we can all agree that everybody wants to be able to move very efficiently, whether we're moving through the community, you know, to the community or from the community. And so unfortunately, though, our cities and the city of North Vancouver is not different than most cities, even in North America. They have been designed for movement in a car. And so what we want to see is, you know, that's why I'm very pleased to see that the city has a new mobility strategy. I didn't mention that earlier. We have a new mobility strategy that's coming out that really focuses on, as I said, the e-bike share, the increased walkability, providing people options. We've delivered the the R2 bus along East 3rd. So providing people a variety of different options, reallocating some of the public road space to create mobility lanes that could be used for cycling or micromobility. So that people who, so we're providing options for all people to be able to move around the community, not just people who have cars. And so when we actually provide these different options, it makes it easier for all of us to get around, including goods, which are really important to be moving. We are a port city, so we need to be able to make sure that our goods are able to move like efficiently through the community and off the North Shore to where they need to go. In terms of North Shore Connects and the rapid transit, so North Shore Connects is actually, it has been a partnership with the 3 local governments and the 2 First Nation governments, including our senior levels, our other levels of government, so the provincial and the federal level of government. This body has actually been meeting for about 5 years. So before I was the mayor, it was spearheaded by MLA Ma, who sort of convened us all together. And it has, over the years, really looked at the whole issue of the congestion on the North Shore. Why are we having so much congestion? What are the contributing factors to that congestion? And what are some of the solutions? And there was 13 recommendations that came out of that, and providing rapid transit across the Burrard Inlet is one of those. In terms of Mayor's Council, of course, as a mayor, I sit on that council. That's a regional body, so it's all 23 mayors across the region. And TransLink has been very hard hit because of COVID and the reduction in ridership. And then, of course, that equates to reduced revenue. So we made a decision last year of really looking at the 10-year vision, which wasn't quite finished from the last Mayor's Council, to prioritize and really look at what was going to be the new 10-year vision and investment plan that we were going to be able to deliver. So for us on the North Shore, bringing forward the Burrard Inlet Rapid Transit is our key priority in that plan. And so right now we are in the process as Mayor's Council meeting. We've had several workshops and we will be doing some finalization of that plan, because of course you're negotiating with all your counterparts across the region in other priorities that we need. And so probably a final adoption will probably go out to April for some consultation from the public. And then we hope by July we'll have a final investment plan. And we're quite confident on the North Shore that we're going to be able to deliver that in terms of having it within the first phase of the next 10-year vision. Did I hit all? I know you had some other questions, so I just want to make sure I've captured.
Yeah, I believe you answered all of it, except I guess the fact that how you all these two districts and the city came on the same page.
Well, it's part of that previous work that's been done over the last 5 years. So it's been, prior to the 3 current mayors, it was the previous mayors and the MLAs and the MPs. So it was about doing that initial assessment of what is causing the issues that we're having. And there is no silver bullet for fixing congestion. There's a multitude of things. So it was really identifying what are the factors and what are the solutions to those, which includes what we can do at the local level, what we have to do at the regional level. And I think you did ask around the commitment from the senior levels of government. And there's commitment in the terms of they're on the page that they want to see this delivered as well. But funding for public transportation is through the federal and the provincial government. And so they provide the money. It is up to Mayor's Council to decide what the priorities are. But as far as the North Shore goes, we are committed through this North Shore Connects on the priorities. And our primary priority right now is getting rapid transit within that next 10-year investment plan.
Okay, excellent. Next question, we're going to talk about the flight PS752. Over 2 years have passed since the tragedy of shooting down the Ukrainian plane. Mm-hmm. Considering the fact that 7 victims actually 7 victims of this flight were the residents of the city of North Vancouver. Mm-hmm. And also there are some families of other victims who were residents of other provinces, especially Ontario, recently moved to the city of North Vancouver. Basically, they decided to consider this city as their home. And also all these families and the whole community would like to have a monument to honor the victims of flight PS752. Does the city have any plan to support building such a monument in the city?
Short answer, yes. The longer answer is, first of all, that happened, not long after becoming the mayor. And certainly the Persian community is a big part of the city of North Vancouver. So I was very devastated to wake up to hear that news, and immediately sent an email to my staff to say, please lower the flags at half mast, like immediately. And then worked with the Persian community and Impact North Shore, which is North Shore Multicultural Society, and offered the city to host the vigil, the 7-day vigil. And I know how traumatizing this has been. And of course, then immediately following that, we went into a pandemic. So it's been very difficult for the Persian community and in order to really grieve, I think, as a full community when you're in lockdown and orders that tell you that you need to be staying home. So I do recognize how difficult and traumatic this has been for not just the families of the victims, but also for the broader Persian community. And in fact, I would say our whole community. I think that was, really a point. I was really, on a very bitterly cold night when we had the 7-day vigil, I was very humbled to see hundreds of people in our community come out to really be together and lift each other up. I have been contacted by Nazreen, and we've had a conversation about the memorial. And so I asked her to go back to get a little bit more information, and I have a follow-up call with her in the next little while. I do need to bring it to my council. And then, yes, we will look at means and ways in which we can honor those individuals and those families so that there is a place. I have a few things in mind, but we do have a public art. It would be part of our public art piece, our department. And so there's a process that we do need to go through, but it is something that I would feel very honored to have in the city. It's I think it is important for people to have a place in which they can come and reflect and remember, and that you have a place where people are forever remembered, not just for themselves, but that moment in history in terms of what happened, and make sure that can never be forgotten.
Okay, thank you very much. That's great. You mentioned about the Harry Jerome Community Center.
Yes.
Talking about all you have done in the past year. We received letters from our readers stating that the community center doesn't operate full time due to lack of staff. So basically the question is that, first of all, we want to know, is this still the case? Because this was like a couple months ago. And also if there is any plan to maximize the usage of this center until the new community center completed and up and running?
So Harry Jerome Community Recreation Center, we're very excited. We are finally, like I said, at the end of the month, we are putting shovels in the ground, and that's moving forward. There is some site preparation that's currently happening, but we're very excited to see this project moving forward and to be able to deliver this new sort of state-of-the-art community center for 2025. And if you haven't seen it, or you want to include it in your publication or the online piece anyways, there's a really great video that shows the new center and what it will look like. So we're excited about that. In the meantime, the current facility will remain open. I don't know to date, like currently what's happening as of today in terms of programming that's happening. They have, like any organization, we have been significantly impacted by COVID. And so the plan was originally that the community center was going to be closed while we built the new center. And so there was a lot of planning that took place to reallocate and move those programs and services to other facilities that we have within the North Vancouver Rec Commission's facility portfolio. Then the decision was that we would actually keep it open. So that all had to get reshifted again. So I think as far as I know, the majority of the programming is still running. If there's programs that are not running, it is due to, like most, we're not a business, but the challenges of finding staffing and delivering all the kinds of programming that people want. But certainly whether it's through Harry Jerome or any of the other facilities that Rec Commission operates, and we have there's a new facility opening up on Cap Road in the district of North Van later this year. There'll be more and more programming that'll be available.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Amir, I guess it's your turn.
Thank you very much. Back in 2019, when we were still, when COVID was still not here, it felt like centuries ago.
It really does.
Myself and a few other residents of Vancouver, we collaborated with Vancouver Councillor Jean Swanson, and we brought forward a motion to to Vancouver City Council to add Nowruz to their calendar of holidays and events and celebrate it at the City Hall. Now, we were looking for observations and like holidays in the City of North Vancouver's website. We couldn't find any similar measure for holidays or for Nowruz in particular. Is Nowruz part of the calendar of the City of Vancouver, and is there any plans to what are the plans to formally recognize it?
The City of North Vancouver.
Yes.
So most of those, in particularly in cultural recognition, that often will be recognized within the North Vancouver Recreation, and it's actually the North Vancouver Recreation and Culture Commission. Yep. So a lot of the various cultural celebrations are recognized through the Cultural Commission. In terms of the city, I mean, we don't host. I would be putting something up through my office. So it is always recognized through my office, any of the cultural holidays. My staff make sure that we recognize it in that way. I will do, I don't know if we have a proclamation for Persian New Year, but that's something we could absolutely take a look at. So that would be proclaiming, the day or the month of Persian New Year as a proclamation in the City of North Vancouver, but it's certainly recognized. We don't actually, it's like Canada Day, or it's other groups that are often putting on these events, and then we participate in a way of being a member of the community and coming in and celebrating with you.
I see. And just to add a little bit of some of the other ways, some of the other examples, the City of Vancouver, the City Hall and the Burrard Bridge in Vancouver will be illuminated green. And the City of Port Moody also, they had a motion by Councillor Lubick to recognize that and to illuminate the City Hall. We would love to.
I think he was going to ask me if we illuminate, and if we don't already, because we illuminate for a number of, like right now we're blue and yellow till the end of March because of Ukraine, but certainly we could illuminate, we can illuminate for Persian New Year. I'm thinking that's what Amir was going to ask me.
I think he wanted to mostly emphasize on getting recognized by the city the same way that the City of Vancouver did, basically. Like all the council voted on that, and now it's recognized as a officially observed celebration day in City of Vancouver. Basically, our question was that if there is any plan that City of North Vancouver do the same thing.
It would be by proclamation that I would do as the mayor. So I would do a proclamation. So absolutely, I'm more than happy. And I can't actually, I don't have my bind. I don't actually off the top of my head if I did a proclamation last year or not, but absolutely can do that. That's not a problem. The challenge is it's often happening during spring break when we're not in session, but I will make sure for sure at minimum we can light up, and we can also, like I said, all my social media platforms will recognize Nowruz. And if I am able to get it onto an agenda, which would be like Monday, because then we break for spring break, I will do my best to do that.
Okay, perfect.
Well, for the last question, I want to ask you. We're only 2 weeks or so away from the spring and Nowruz. What are you looking forward to for Nowruz and for the spring? And
Well, I always, I love the fact that we are a community that's made up of a variety of different of cultures. And the beauty of that is there's multiple times in the year that I think we get to celebrate a new year. It's not just for us as Christians at, December 31st. We actually have multiple new years, and spring is always, new beginnings. And I think given the last 2 years that we have found ourselves in and the current strife we find ourselves watching between Russia and Ukraine, I am very much looking forward to a really happy new year, a lot of new beginnings. And, I know as our country starts to open up and we start to see more and more people from other countries and certainly from Iran come to want to come to the city of North Vancouver and make it their home. I look forward to welcoming, new people to the community. I'm happy to hear people from Toronto wanted to come to the city and call the city their home. So I think we're all ready to wish everyone Happy New Year, to have new beginnings and really find the time and space to get outside and connect personally with one another, and have a big celebration, to be honest.
Well, thank you so much, and my apologies again for this hiccup.
No problem. That's the way it is in the virtual world.
Yep. I thought that the most we got to is the challenge of muting and unmuting ourselves.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Mayor Bukana.
Thank you very much. I appreciate the opportunity. And Amir, you're going to get back to me about the parks, and I'll get you the park manager. And
yes.
You cut out when I said we can definitely light up, and I
Awesome.
will look to see about the proclamation. And I said, if I can't do it for this year, because we break for 2 weeks of March, we'll definitely do it next year. And all my platforms, all my social media platforms will speak to Nowruz.
Yeah, thank you so much. We're still we're this community that is still finding its place here, and North Vancouver is of course one of the oldest Iranian communities in Canada.
Yes.
So we're working together. We're learning this together. And for me, the priority is to share our heritage, to share those with everyone, because the message transcends one race, one culture, one nationality.
Absolutely. And I think that's why I said, like, the more we can welcome more people, and Central Lonsdale is where many of the families and certainly the businesses come, and I think it's always a great reminder. And I will say too, when we see redevelopment in Central Lonsdale, I always have conversations with the development community about making sure that, for me, making sure that the Persian businesses are able to continue to thrive, because it is a big part of our identity in the city of North Vancouver to have the Persian community, and I never want to see that disappear. It makes us, to your point, it makes us all stronger, and the more understanding that we have of people and their cultures, it makes us much more tolerant and resilient as people.
Thank you so much. Thank you for making time for us.
Thank you very much. Pleasure.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We're gonna publish it. When will the Hamiari come out, Sima?
March 18.
Yeah.
March 18. And I think we're gonna publish it on BC Sav around the same time.
Okay. Fantastic.
Awesome. Thank you for being our first interviewee of this.
Oh, okay. You didn't say that.
Oh yeah, now I do, because that would be terrifying. Awesome. Well, have a great weekend and have a great break as you're taking the break.
Thank you very much, you guys. I appreciate it. Enjoy the beautiful sunshine and happy Nowruz.
Thank you.
Okay. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.